Hello everyone. Please silence your phones and take your seats. The video is about to start. Chemical bonding occurs due to the fact that the atoms in the element need to become stabilized. Neighboring atoms have electric forces which attract them together to chemically bond. The arrangement of an atom's electrons are determined by how strongly it seeks to bond with the other atoms.
The first type of bond we are going to be discussing is an ionic bond. An ionic bond occurs when one atom essentially donates an electron to another. This results in a situation where one atom becomes stable by losing its outer electrons and the other atoms become stable by gaining the electrons. This is a diagram of an ionic bond between sodium and chlorine.
So an example of an ionic bond is calcium chloride. Due to calcium, a metal, and chlorine, a nonmetal, having a large difference in electronegativity, chlorine is going to take all of calcium's valence electrons in order to reach 8 valence electrons.
The next type of bond we are going to be discussing is a covalent bond. A covalent bond is a chemical link between two atoms or ions in which the electron pairs are shared between them. A covalent bond may also be termed a molecular bond. Covalent bonds form between two nonmetal atoms with identical or relatively close electronegativity values. This type of bond may also be found in other chemical species such as radicals and macromolecules. There are also two specific types of covalent bonds which are polar and nonpolar. As the electronegativity difference increases, the electron pair in a bond is more closely associated with one nucleus than the other. If the electronegativity is between 0.4 and 1.7, the bond is polar. Polar molecules unequally share the electrons between atoms, so they have a slight positive charge at one end and a slight negative charge at the other.
An example of a polar covalent bond is hydrogen fluoride. Because fluorine, a nonmetal, has a larger electronegativity than hydrogen, which is also a nonmetal, the sharing of the electrons between the two atoms will be unequal, making it a polar covalent bond.
A nonpolar bond is when atoms equally share electron pairs. Since only identical atoms truly engage in equal sharing, the definition is expanded to include covalent bonding between any atoms with an electronegativity difference which is less than 0.4.
An example of a nonpolar covalent bond is dinitrogen. The determining factor that makes this chemical bond nonpolar is the same two elements are bonding. Because the electronegativity of the two are similar, the amount of electrons shared will be equal.
Another type of chemical bond is a metallic bond. A metallic bond is formed between positively charged atoms in which free electrons are shared among a grid of cations. In contrast, covalent and ionic bonds form between two discrete atoms. Metallic bonding is the main type of chemical bond that forms between metal atoms. Metallic bonds are seen in pure metals and alloys and some metalloids. For example, graphene, an allotrope of carbon, exhibits two-dimensional metallic bonding. Metals, even pure ones, can form other types of chemical bonds between their atoms. For example, the mercurious ion can form metal-metal covalent bonds. Pure gallium forms covalent bonds between pairs of atoms that are linked by metallic bonds to surrounding pairs.
But there is a lot more to these bonds than just being ionic, polar, or nonpolar. Calcium chloride, an ionic bond, for example, can be found in most products that we buy. It can be found in food, snow and ice melting products, plastic containers, and much more. Calcium chloride is produced by refining naturally occurring brine by neutralizing hydraulic acid with limestone. While calcium chloride is very important, it is a very important bond to the population, like it adds flavor to food, it removes ice from sidewalks, and helps concrete dry faster, it can be very corrosive to metals. And it also can be deadly to a person if the wrong form of it is ingested.
Three examples of metallic elements are lithium, copper, and iron. Lithium has an atomic number of 3 and the symbol is Li. It is the lightest metal in the metallic elements. It is also less reactive with water and can form tight bonds with nitrogen. Some uses are that they are used in some batteries, hydrogen bombs, and can treat bipolar disorder or manic depression.
Iron has an atomic number of 26 and the symbol is Fe. 90% of all metals that are refined today is iron. Cast iron is also used for making pipes, valves, and pumps.
Another metallic element is copper. Copper has the atomic number of 29 with a symbol of Cu. Copper is a great conductor of electricity and heat. It is also used in motor vehicles, AC, and in home heating systems.
A molecule is an electrically neutral group of two or more atoms held together by chemical bonds. Molecules are distinguished from ions by the lack of electrical charge. Three examples of molecules are carbon dioxide, glucose, and Sodium hydrogen carbonate, also known as baking soda. The molecule is made up of two or more elements that are bonded together and have all properties of a substance. There's 2 hydrogen atoms in this water molecule and 1 oxygen atom, making H2. Formula unit in chemistry is the formula of any ionic or covalent bond. A network solid compound is used as an independent form of calculations, and it is the lowest whole number ratio of ions represented in an ionic compound. Al2CO3 is aluminum carbonate. This is a formula unit. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. The lights will be turned on. I hope you enjoy your day.